Childhood, childhood, childhood. Everything in your life links back to when you were a child. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't even matter if you feel like you can't even remember what you went through as a child, and that most your experiences that involve trauma actually happened when you were an adult. It doesn't matter, because the reason that you are recreating those experiences is because of your childhood. My cat, 1 second. So the reason that it all happened is because of what went on during childhood. So the reason that you are having the same experiences over and over, and you are actually creating traumatic experiences in your life, is because of what happened to you when you were a child. Whatever you consumed when you were a child is now the way that your life is, because you pick up your beliefs from your caregivers. And when you're a child, your brain is in theta, which is the most easily programmable state for your brain to be in. You pick up on everything around you. Children are so clever. They don't even have to be in that moment to be able to acknowledge what's going on. Their body, their subconscious mind, is absorbing and taking on everything around them. So, however their parents treat them when they were younger is now what they believe to be their reality, because now when they're going out in the world, they're operating from the subconscious program, which is 95% of the reality, and then during the day it's just the 5% that is looking for the evidence to back up what they believe to be true. So if your parents weren't there for you when you were younger and didn't love you in the way that you genuinely believe that love is, your version of love will be what you saw when you were younger. So now as you go about your life, you may control, manipulate people around you and not understand why you do this. And it's not coming from that conscious part, it's coming from the program, because this is your idea and version of love. That's what you saw when you were younger. So now you believe that if someone loves you, they act in these toxic, manipulative ways, because that's what you saw as love. So to you, that feels like home, that feels normal, because that's the feelings that you got when you were younger with what you experienced. This is why it all links back to childhood, because you're always going to validate the way that you feel, and therefore your version of love is linked back to your caregivers, how they loved you when you were a child, because you recreate experiences in all your relationships, and the romantic relationship is the one where you recreate it the most, because the majority of people are recreating what they saw when they were a child in their partners now. So it all links back to childhood, and it's about realizing that no one can give you that love that you so desperately want or need. It's only you that can provide you with that love, because if you have a wound, and if you have a core wound of feeling unworthy and not lovable, because it links back to childhood, then you're always going to be searching and trying to find someone to love you, but they're always just going to reflect back to you the fact that you're searching and wanting this love and trying to find that love, because that is an energy in itself. So it's always about realizing and remembering that to find true, genuine love, or whatever it is you want to experience that is genuine and real, you have to become it first. So in the instance of love, you have to produce that love within, self-love, unconditional love. You produce that feeling, and therefore when you do, you can experience it on the external, because it will then be reflected back to you in people, situations. But until you do that, you will never experience true, genuine love, and therefore you can fall into cycles and traps of thinking that you're going to find it in the next person, but you're never going to find it if you're looking, searching, trying to. You have to produce that feeling to then attract it back to you, because that is how this world works. So everything links back to childhood. Everything is validating the ways that you feel within. and you feel that way within, links back to how you felt during a child. Unless your energy changes, nothing changes, which means unless the thoughts that you are thinking and therefore the feelings that will change, nothing will change. You'll be the exact same person, but just 20 years later, but feeling and thinking the exact same thoughts. Even if they are not exactly the same, they are on the same vibrational frequency because the feelings haven't changed. So realize this is all about you, and you can change the way that you think and therefore the way that you feel by changing the vibrational frequency that you are operating at. But to do that, you have to change the thoughts that you are thinking, or guide your thoughts to better feeling thoughts. You have to realize that you have to be the mother and father to your younger self, because your younger self lives within you. It is a part of you, and until you feel safe, until your younger self feels safe within, you're never going to feel safe on your own, in relationships, in friendships. If you move country, it doesn't matter. If you don't feel safe, it's an indication that your inner child doesn't feel safe within, because you're still holding on to resentment. You're still holding on to guilt, things that have happened during childhood that you've not been able to release, and therefore it's stored and trapped in the body. And this looks like your younger self being scared all the time, which manifests in you living in a state of fear, which then produces the thoughts to keep you in that stuck state.